Hi, Shirley.
Hi, Jackie.
As if it's not bad enough having hot flashes, Shirley, it's 30 degrees out there and my air conditioner doesn't work. How are you doing?
Well, thank you. I have hot flashes and I have a little fan over in the corner. So,
You're way more prepared than I am.
all good.
So, hot flashes, hot topic. I don't think I say the word vagina enough in a day. So I just
Oh,
thought I
okay.
would say it again
We're
today.
saying it. Vagina, vagina,
Vagina. Can
vagina,
I
vulva,
talk to
vagina,
you about vaginas again?
vaginas.
Okay, we talked about vaginal dryness in another video. That is a very frequently asked question. You said you get that one the most. I hear that the most with women I speak to. Um, and I recently, when I met you and got my own Feel Amazing moisturizer, there it is. And it's my new favorite product, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so I have full transparency. I have no real way of knowing the efficacy of this product because I haven't had the sex
Okay.
since I've been taking the product.
Okay.
But I feel like the condition that I have is very common. I have vaginal dryness. I have some atrophy, which means very painful sex.
Yes.
When I look back, my own observations that were telling, and I didn't know, aside from that sex became painful, was no discharge. I know
Hmm.
that's really gross, but um, and then when I started using product again, I'm like, oh, you should always probably have some discharge.
I don't know that. Whoops. Because I'm not a gynecologist, but let's try to unpack your questions.
Okay,
So,
sorry. Is that coming through on my phone?
yeah,
That's coming through on the video?
yeah.
Okay. Let me rephrase this question because I think I made it too complicated.
Okay, we'll just like go right from what your questions are.
Okay. All right.
Too funny.
Oh God. Okay, if she calls again, I'm gonna kill her. Okay, so I have a few questions because I think my own condition might be really representative of a lot of women. I have vaginal dryness, I have painful sex, but I also have a bit of atrophy, which I discovered in a pap smear.
Yep.
And I guess my question is, I have been using my Feel Amazing, but I haven't had sex. So I don't know if I feel amazing all the
Yeah.
way up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's my question? Here, that's like a very long road to a small house. My question is, can can a product like yours reverse atrophy or heal it? Like, can I come back from this? Can we come
Yes.
back from this?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I'll try to address all, you said a lot of things. I'll try to address them as best as I can. Okay. So we should probably start with what causes vaginal dryness. And
Mhm.
vaginal dryness is a symptom of atrophy. Atrophy is when a muscle shrinks.
Yeah.
Okay. So our biceps can atrophy, our vaginas can atrophy.
Yep.
One of the side effects of atrophy is dryness. Vaginal dryness can be prevented, but it can also be treated in your case by hyaluronic acid and or hormone therapy used locally, used in the vagina. Okay.
Mhm.
Hyaluronic acid is a naturally occurring molecule. So this is why we, generally speaking, don't have vaginal dryness in our 20s and 30s, because hyaluronic acid is like our body's producing it. Our eyes are moist, our mouth never gets dry, our skin is our skin. It's amazing, right? And then in our 30s and 40s, hyaluronic acid starts to decline,
Yeah, I've noted
never
that.
comes back, and it's worse post menopause. And then the other thing that happens right alongside that is estrogen declines rather dramatically post menopause. So
Mhm.
in 2013, a gynecologist named Dr. Petra Stute, she's a Swiss gynecologist, her and her team showed through their research that hyaluronic acid was as effective as localized estrogen therapy. And we can
Wow.
link that research for your audience if you want to.
Yes,
So
please.
that's really cool because for anyone experiencing vaginal dryness, I mean, yes, we're talking mostly about postmenopause, but it can also happen postpartum.
Yeah.
It can also happen
Yes.
if you're taking the birth control pill, right? So hyaluronic acid is like a great kind of tool that's available to address that because you're not meant to suffer. Now, painful sex is a side effect of vaginal dryness, which is a side effect of atrophy.
Right.
I personally do not believe that penetrative sex should be the hallmark of whether or not the product is working.
Ah, okay.
I much prefer that you go see a pelvic floor physiotherapist and have a proper assessment done of your pelvic floor and the skin tissues of the vaginal wall. That is going to tell you and probably give you way more information and education about maybe you need to use this twice a day, or maybe you need to be doing some different pelvic floor exercises or things that you can do to get to a place where your pelvic floor physio says, you know what? I think penetrative sex might be back on the menu for you.
Oh,
And that would make me feel so much better than hearing about women continuing to try penetration and not
yeah.
knowing, because if we don't know, like that's not going to be a positive experience. Plus, it
No,
might not be a positive experience regardless. So that's my tip. If you can,
I love
moisturize
it.
and see a pelvic floor physio.
You know what, Shirley, that's a really good point because, I mean, you always have good points, but this one's really good because, full disclosure, my husband doesn't even want to have sex anymore because he's afraid of hurting me.
Right,
That's caused
exactly.
like, emotional
Exactly.
trauma for him. And I'm like, exactly what you said. I'm like, is it working? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. I think I'm gonna have to
No.
like, yeah,
Don't trial and error it. Go see a professional. It is so worth just that 1 hour of time with a pelvic floor physio. And they are going to, I mean, they know way more about skin tissue than I do, right? And
yeah.
because they're looking at it, they will touch it with a gloved finger. You'll be able to respond to their questions. It's like an education class in the pelvic floor is like second to none.
You know what? I did go to pelvic floor physio. I'm in Toronto, as you know, so I went to Mississauga Pelvic Health, and the girls there are frigging amazing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like, but they told me things like I never knew, like what can weaken your pelvic floor, like holding your stomach in, right?
Yes.
Like, when you go out and you're putting on your jeans that maybe don't really fit and you're holding your stomach in, that's actually, a problem.
Yeah,
Or,
like you're gonna learn so much in that conversation,
and
but
it doesn't hurt. I want to debunk that. It
it
never,
doesn't hurt. And I'm sorry to say, but when we go for our pap smear every 2 to 3 years or whatever the case may be, that is not like I've never experienced my doctor assessing the tissues
no.
of my vaginal wall. Like that is not
No.
happening. That's an insertion, a swab being taken from the cervix, and that's it. So please add to your health team if you can,
Yeah,
because it's worth it.
I
And
I
the other thing
100%
about
believe in that.
the other thing about the moisturizer too is, as you know, this is Health Canada approved now. It has its own NPN number, but what that means is that there has to be specific instructions, and it says once a day. But the reality is that this is non-prescription. I work with a lot of women in postmenopause, and I invite them to treat it as if they have really dry elbows. I have really dry elbows right now, but like, I mean, really dry elbows.
Yeah.
And if you had sort of that cracked skin and that was hurting every time you touched it, right? You would be slathering on the moisturizer at least 3 times a day until it got better. And then you'd be like, I never want to have dry elbows anymore. I'm going to moisturize every day. I'm going to put a sticky note on my bathroom mirror. I'm going to make
Yeah.
sure that I never, and so that same philosophy needs to apply
Yeah.
to our vulvas and our vaginas.
So, just to take that a step further, though, and I do want to ask you a question after this about feel amazing,
Okay.
is say that you are not sexually active
Mhm.
and you haven't had a pap, like you're in between your pap smear, like I'm sorry, but that speculum is the worst thing in the world. Also, it should come in different sizes. Um, how would you know that you have health? Like, how would you know? Because like it's almost like you don't know. And well, I didn't know until we went to have sex, and I was like, what? Like,
So
how would you know?
it's different for everyone. How do you know that you need to moisturize your face? You don't. It just kind of becomes routine. But when it comes to the vulva and the vagina, first of all, look at it and touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough of us do that.
Yeah.
The second sort of group of identifiers is, and I hear these stories from women a lot, is they can no longer sit comfortably. They can no longer move or dance or go to yoga or do the activities that they used to do comfortably.
Really?
Third is that women will often notice that they can't wear jeans or the clothes that they love as comfortably as before. And so the vulva and the vagina are both skin. It's just one's on the inside and one's on the outside. So
Yeah.
and penetrative sex is only one way of having sexual activity. So I really always kind of push back on anyone that says, I'm not sexually active, how will I know? And I'm like, well, touch, insert a
Mm.
finger,
Yeah.
insert a toy, whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't do any of those things,
Yeah.
you know, by following our work and listening to these conversations, that hyaluronic acid is going to decline and that estrogen is going to decline. That is going to affect the health of our vulva and vaginal wall.
Yeah.
And how do we know that our plants need watering? Well, they just do,
Yeah.
right? So we don't wait until it gets super, super dry before we pour some water on them.
Okay, I'm glad my camera's facing the other way because there are 3 dead plants behind you as we speak.
Well, I have a fake one here.
Oh, that's how you get away with it. Maybe I'll get a fake vagina. Um, so the really great news here for me, and
Yes,
I hope everyone listening, is you can come back from this.
yes. It can be
Um,
prevented and treated.
because I'm not going to lie to you, 2 years ago, I honestly thought I had to have laser therapy or some type of surgery. That's what I was told, and I
You
can't afford
probably,
it, and I didn't want to do it.
and it's not FDA approved.
Yeah, so, and I did try the Mona Lisa touch. It helped me for a while, but that's a treatment I think you have to like stay on top of. And I like the idea of having, my Feel Amazing, throw it in my makeup bag. It goes with me wherever I go. Okay, so on that note, um, asking for a friend, you insert it and then you use it on the vulva as well.
Yeah, you can develop your own protocol. So I'll
Yep.
tell you what I do, which
Okay.
is it calls for 1 gram per day, which is 2 pumps.
Yep.
So I usually do the 2 pumps on my finger
Okay. I see it.
and insert it.
Hmm.
Because it's a gel that is a little bit sticky, and it's sticky on purpose because it will stay where you put it. So it's going to stay to the wall. It's going to stay on the walls of the vagina.
Okay.
And the reason that we did that is a lot of women complained about other products. They needed to lay down after they inserted them because
Yes.
the instructions say apply at night, lay down afterwards. You don't want it to run out of you. Well, this doesn't run out, it stays there. And then whatever is left on my finger, I apply to the vulva. You could
Okay.
do it, but you could do it differently. You could do 1 pump inside and then 1 pump outside. You can
Yeah.
do 4 pumps if you want to. Like it's non-prescription, and everyone is at a different age and stage of dryness.
Yeah.
So if you're 48 years old, you might be moisturizing every other day as a prevention strategy. If you're
Yeah.
68 years old, you might have to moisturize 3 times a day to start, but know that you'll eventually, because hyaluronic acid is so strong, it can carry 1,000 times its weight in moisture.
Wow.
You will eventually be able to taper back to once a day.
Okay. Okay. I like this. Can I use it on my face? I need some here.
I get asked that a lot, and there is no harm in putting this anywhere. I moisturized my dog's nose the other day with it, but know that it's sticky.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so it's safe to use on the vulva and vagina. It's safe to use anywhere, but you're not going to love it on your face because
No,
it
I'm
feels,
only kidding.
yeah.
I'm not really going to use it on my face. But I have tried it in the morning because I forgot to do it the night before. And I thought, oh crap, I'm doing it in the morning. Like now it's going
I
to
do it
run
in the
out.
morning.
Nothing.
Yeah, like,
Didn't
yeah,
run out at all.
no, no.
It is amazing.
Yeah, I shower, moisturize, and get dressed. Like it's just part of brush. It's like brushing my teeth. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, that was very, very hopeful and helpful. I feel like
Good.
honestly, you have no idea like how inspiring that is because I feel like when these things happen, what you hear women say is, getting old sucks. And I'm thinking, but why does it have to? Like, it's not getting old that sucks. It's getting ignored that sucks, you know? So now we know that this is not something we have to live with.
You deserve to feel amazing, even though sometimes the path runs through a tiny little place called not yet amazing. It's actually up to us whether we stay there
Yeah, good
feeling not
point.
amazing or try to move out away from it.
Well, I feel like these videos are like a little tour guide to help you get out of that little town
Yeah,
called not quite there yet
I
and
hope
back
so.
in.
I mean, we're all working on things, right? So
Yep. Yep. Thank you so much,
thank
Shirley.
you.